we're happy you are here with us this evening. We have a
yeah.
jam-packed show for you this evening. We don't. What's been going on in the world? A lot of fathers been fucking up. I'm just gonna say that.
We're starting.
Right off a rip. I don't want to attack. We don't attack people here. We don't like to attack, but we have to call out the shit behavior. If I want to call women behavior, gotta call it the men behavior too. You guys been fucking up. So. Yeah,
what about the men has you hot today?
It's just niggas not looking after the children of various ages, old men, young men. Like, people don't want to take care of their children because of the mother.
That whole, I don't like my mother, the children, so I'm gonna...
The kids will pay.
Yeah, I'm gonna affect the children in a way that's harmful.
It's harmful.
And hurtful.
And it's hurtful because these are the people you're gonna have to reconcile your relationship with in like
Later.
20 years.
Yeah.
And they're gonna know everything.
Right, they're gonna put those things together. We're filling in the blanks now.
And if you are not there as a father, that all those feelings will come from the mother. And it'll be whatever angst she has towards him, downloaded to you. He don't be around to defend himself for what does really happen? From my point of view, this is what happened. That shit ain't there. So the kids only get one fucking point of view, and hijinks ensue. That's what happened to me. Well, my mom didn't talk about my father like that. She never she was like goofy stuff. He's stupid or stuff like that. But
That's a lot.
It's a lot, but it was never like fuck that nigga. That nigga ain't. It was never nothing like that.
Okay.
She didn't like the child support number that she was getting.
Right.
But the court said that's what it was. So that's what it was. But I know what it feels like to not have that father figure in your house, and I know what it feels like to grow up without the leadership or the guidance of an older man, or just a man older than you and shit like that. Even though I had a man in the house, I was raised in the house with a man for well over 10 years.
Okay. Was he a guide?
No.
No.
He was just lost as the rest of us.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When I look back on it now, he had to be, because he didn't take care of his own child prior to meeting my mom, and my mom had to find out about that other child.
Right.
After you already married this nigga.
Sure.
That's crazy too. Story time. I think I was 13 and we are living in Fontana. I am going to Alder Middle School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is okay.
Specific.
Yeah, super specific. Yeah, because it takes me back to where it was. So, Christmas time. We are with me and my sister. This is before my youngest sister was born. So me and Teresa, we're with my stepfather, and we go to this lady's house, and there's kids there, and we're giving them Christmas gifts. These Christmas gifts was in the back of my stepfather's car for maybe a little bit over a week.
Okay.
We thought it was for us.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, we got some shit, but that shit wasn't for us.
Right.
So we go there and we give out the gifts. I don't know exactly who these people are. I don't know who these children are or anything like that. But years later, I find out that that was the baby mama, and the daughter was his kid.
Sure.
They never knew about that shit. So he didn't take care of her. Well, he took care of her in that instant. But throughout our life of knowing them, no. She was never around or anything like that. Never came over, spent the night with her father. None of that shit. Just out of sight, out of mind.
Wow.
So, I know that man wasn't going to look after me or my sister.
I see.
So
he was not involved. He was not.
No.
Okay.
I don't even think he knew how.
Okay.
That's no fucking excuse.
Sure.
But I just don't think he didn't know what the fuck he was doing when it came to me and her. And him and my sister was always at odds. So So I know what it felt like to not grow up with a man.
Right.
And then having to reconcile with your father after you're 30 years old and shit like that. So that's a whole lot of life he didn't miss. You didn't have nothing to kind of like push you in the way and something like that. You could talk to him now, but it's different.
Of course.
It's different. I don't know how it feels to have a father, and that shit feels fucking. It's weird to say because I have one and we super cool, but it don't feel like he's my father, if that makes sense. Maybe dad. There's a difference between the two. But not my father. So yeah, man, you have to be in your kid's life and fuck whatever the baby mom, that bullshit. All that's just excuses anyway. And as a kid, the last thing you don't want to hear is when your dad didn't, like, why my dad didn't take care of me? Oh, because he was mad at your mom.
And also, you did make a point that it could be possible that they didn't know how. And I mean,
we can give him some grace.
We can give him some grace.
It's been like 10 years though.
Right. But at what point? What point do you?
Yeah.
Do you take accountability for an absence? Like, what is it that you seek or need? Is there anything that can?
Now?
Yeah.
No. I wouldn't even know what to ask my father about life. Like, I could use his life as an example of what not to do.
Sure.
But that's really, really it. Because he made every wrong decision you could make growing up. No fault to him. That's how he just grew up. You know, he's a product of his own environment. Having me at 16 probably stopped a lot of things he may have wanted to do. Maybe. I don't know. But maybe he didn't know either. But he just kept having kids. You know, so maybe he did figure it out later on. But my stepfather, that nigga was there the entire time.
Right, but still not present. You
know, so when I see fathers are just who totally absent,
engage with their kids.
Yeah, that I
they
take
lack
that different.
Emotional connection, and they're really hurting. That's really confusing.
It is. And to a kid, that don't make no sense. It don't even fucking matter.
For the kid, it's even more confusing.
And it shouldn't even matter, because that's a question the kid should never have to have answered.
Absolutely.
You know, a kid should never be like, "Oh, what if my dad didn't?"
Right.
Because he was fucking with your sister more. Like, that's like just that little bit. You can carry that shit for fucking 50 years.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think parents, understand the magnitude.
They don't. They call it because my mom and dad were both young. I cannot imagine like what they possibly knew about raising kids as kids themselves. You know, my mother had help. My father had help too. They had help on both sides. So my grandfather on my father's side, my grandma on that side, and my grandmother on my mother's side were very involved with my upbringing. But she wasn't doing it alone. But at the same time, I just know that it was things that she wanted to do with her life that she couldn't do because I was around. Who knows how that make you feel? Who knows? Like some parents channel that energy and put it into their kids and make sure their kids are straight.
Sure.
And the other parents go the opposite way.
Right.
So
build resentment.
It's because of you I couldn't do.
Right.
Because of me, huh?
Right.
I never was asked to be brought here, fam.
At all. Wait a second.
I could have easily been like on the sheets or some shit.
You're funny.
I'm just saying. Like, I could have easily been something else, but since I'm here, like, you gotta,
You kind of got to, right? Like, you're kind of obligated.
Yeah.
So then, let's
talk about it.
So then we have like children who like essentially are unwanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, sort of, like if you like have a dad who just refuses to be present, it's communicating I'm unwanted. Like, and you're, like you said, it's like you could have, left me on the sheets. Like,
right.
And so a lot of people do, they have abortions.
Right. I mean,
we like an unwanted, I think of abortion, and it's a very controversial subject, and I am absolutely here for pro-choice. It's your decision, all that good stuff.
Make a decision.
And the numbers, the statistics, they're appalling. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot.
Yeah.
But I also know, like, not having a baby that you don't want to have is like really important, because there's a lot of people, grown-ups and children, adolescents, whatever, that aren't wanted.
They're just simply not wanted.
They're not wanted by their parents.
And they're just on this earth. just being raised to be God knows whatever, who, you know, because a lot of times, I took all this shit in stride. I didn't really have any. I wasn't really an angry kid, none of that shit. My dad wasn't. I was none of that shit. I'm pretty okay, but there's some kids who be fucked up in the head. You know, this shit is fucking. This shit is. People need to understand the severity or of that situation you're placed in when you have a kid. You're literally in charge of like creating a productive citizen.
You are,
and you're just like, oh well.
Right.
He or she become whatever they will become. Mm-hmm. That's fucking scary to me. You have a lot of influence over somebody who could either take over the world or some shit like that. His origin story is crazy. You know, you want it to be great, not like full of despair and shit as a child. Like, fuck.
I don't think parents actually realize that they're like being so disparaging. Like, I don't think that they understand.
They don't. I don't. And again, I wish I could see it as a parent. I only see it from a child's point of view. You know, I was one of the kids who were neglected. So I only see it from that, but I don't know. Like, I see good mothers, and I've been around I've seen too many examples of good motherhood, and I'd be fucking envious of that shit. Mm-hmm. My girl is great with her kids. I fucking wish my mom was like that, who just fucking cared enough to just do shit for their kids and want their kids to be okay up in their head, not just having toys and clothes and shit. Make sure that them niggas is cool up here. Like, I'd be envious of that shit, of mothering, and somebody like I watch her nurture her kids. I'm like, fuck, I didn't have it. I didn't have none of this shit growing up. I got put up with growing up. You know, that's a different type of being raised, a different way of being raised. You're just being put up with.
The environment is completely different.
Completely different.
The way you move, the way your nervous system reacts, everything is completely different. The way you ask for questions, the way you need attention, the way you seek validation, like all of that stuff is so different in a house where you're just someone who, I got to put up with you. I got to feed you. I gotta take you to school.
Yeah, like,
I gotta make sure that you took a shower and have shoes that you could, like, I got to. Not like I want to, not like I get to.
Yeah, not like I get to. I'm fortunate enough to even have a child. There's people who can't even have kids. I'm blessed to have one, and it's just like, I gotta do that now. I have a responsibility. The fuck?
I don't know what that's about. I really don't. I mean, I don't have any kids because I understood the gravity of it. I was like, this is like a big deal. I don't know how people do it by themselves. Hats off to the people that do it. Mm-hmm. Single fathers, single mothers. Hats off to you guys. I don't know how you do it by yourself because it was not something I was trying to take on by myself. You know what I mean? At all.
That's the last thing I want to do is be in a relationship with someone. I'm not with their parents, their other parent and shit. We do the single parent shit.
Right.
I don't want to do that shit.
It's just a lot because kids need a lot of stuff.
They do.
They need a lot of attention and interaction and love and nurturing and listening and watching, and they just need a lot.
They do. They require a lot, and then they see everything.
And they need a lot of stability, and they absorb a lot of stuff. Absolutely.
We have to create productive citizens and shit. At least it'll be our contribution to the world before we get on.
I mean, if you're gonna have a baby, just nurture and love it. Like, that's the bare minimum.
At least.
Just if you're gonna have one, nurture and love it. If you're not gonna have one, cool.
And get out of your own fucking way. It's not about you no more. It's not about how you feel or none of that shit. Like, it's like I had to tell that to my father eventually. It doesn't matter how you fucking feel, man. It don't matter how you feel about their mothers. It doesn't fucking matter. If you still letting that shit, if you still on that shit, you need to let that shit go. Because your relationships with your daughters are kind of like...
But are they meaningful to him? You know what I'm saying?
That's what I need to understand.
That's the thing. Is like, that's a lot of times we're seeking like something from someone who like, they don't even care enough to like really do it. Right. So you've got to really measure like who you're coming to and like if you're talking to someone who's actually being open or not. Like, you could say all of this stuff. You could waste your breath, or you could read the room and be like, this person's not going to receive this and it's not going to work. And I could say my piece and maybe it'll hit them somehow. But it's like probably, it's probably not. It's probably not. So just read the room and know your audience and decide if if that person has the capacity to really listen.
Oh, shit.
I'm saying, you got to measure people.
You 100% right with that shit. I might be wasting my breath. I just have to say something in defense of my sister, at least, because seeing that shit, I can't let that shit slide. So I can't. That's
some shit was said, and we can't let it slide.
I cannot let that shit slide. Yeah, nah. We checking niggas. Never hold nothing. They ain't supposed to check niggas. Shout out to Jadakiss. But yeah, you gotta do fucking better. You niggas gotta do fucking better. All you niggas, you gotta do fucking better. You fucking take care of your sons and shit. And your daughters and shit. They fucking need you. They need their fucking fathers just like they need their mothers. Just because they taken care of by their mothers don't mean they fucking good. Oh, she got them. They still need you, nigga.
They do.
They came from your fucking balls, nigga.
They do. You're necessary. You're
fucking
part
necessary.
of this creation. Like, if she's the water, then you're the soil.
Right.
Like, something like that.
Or whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, if she's a fucking tripod, you're the camera. Or some
right,
shit.
all of that.
All that
Exactly.
shit.
The yin and the yang.
Yang and a yang. You know, you motherfuckers. Like, I'm not mad at fathers. To an extent, I understand, but at the same time, no. Grace can only take you so far. Because, again, it's not about you. It's about your fucking kids. It's not about how you feel or anything like that. It's not about any of that shit. If you can't separate that shit for the sake of your kids.
Parents are selfish. I mean, some of them.
Yeah, you're right. They are.
They're selfish. And again, you have to, like, read the room. Like, are we talking about a parent who has the capacity or not?
I don't think
Okay. So what are you going to do with that? That's what you have to do something with. Like, you have to accept that part and then be like, okay, so what do I do with this? This person who doesn't have capacity. Like, how can I move with this person?
I mean, me and him are fine.
Right.
But I'm just like, I don't think he has the capacity for all that other shit.
Right.
Especially, he doesn't want me confronting him about this text message.
Sure.
That's gonna be an interesting conversation. Because like I told my sister and my aunt today, I don't care about how anybody feels necessarily, any one person. What I care about is maintaining relationships. If there's some maintaining to be maintained, if there's something to be maintained, but I have to find that out first. So, you know, but just looking at it from here, he might be on something. He might not have the capacity,
Right.
but you know, I have to see at least for my sister. Cause I told them, I'm gonna talk to him. Mm-hmm. Have a good relationship with him. We'll see. But if he's on this, you know, dim. You know what, Pop? I get it. It's all their fault. I get it. I go back to them. Hey, man, he's fucked up. We gotta do something else.
Right. Right.
This shit fucked up. He gotta do something else, or we gotta do something else. Like it's not working for him. So you can just do high and by shit with this nigga, if need be. Maybe not even high and by, depending on how you feel. Because I'm all about people. If you're gonna rest in your feelings, just do it. Go ahead. You know, if somebody put you there, go rest in that shit. Be resting in my shit. Like if somebody,
For how long?
I don't know, until you get over it. Till the person is no longer, or the situation is no longer a thing.
Sure.
You know, I tried to be resentful. I tried to be like, you know, hold anger towards the other person. I just, eventually they'll just turn into sand and they'll just blow in the wind and it'll just be over with. And that'll just be it. It don't have to be no argument. It don't have to be nothing. That's how I am with my fucking ex. There's no animosity or beef. But if I saw her cross the street, I don't say nothing to her. Not saying hi, none of that shit.
Yeah.
If she was on fire, I would help put her out.
Okay.
I wouldn't
Right,
say hi to her.
Right. But I wouldn't say hi to
But I
her.
don't want her to die. I want her.
Of course.
I want her to be well within her life and live a healthy, fruitful, and
Yes.
beautiful life and shit. Just I will never ever fuck with you.
Right.
You know. So that's how it would be with me with people. Like I'm not the person you like. If you don't want to be friends with me, I'm gonna tell you before you tell me. Because I feel that. If you don't want to be my friend, I feel that shit before anything else. Like I'm out. You know, like your homegirl.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Chris.
And this is So.
We're gonna have a fucking podcast. Thank you for us and our daddy issues. That was good. And that was 20.